mention only just now that in one part of the schedule that it was listed as 18 and up, and another schedule, I'm not sure exactly what it was, but that it wasn't 18 and up. The panel is listed 18 and up due to the fact of the mature rating for Danganronpa. I promise you, I don't want to, if I could have had it under 18, I would have, for everyone, but just following guidelines and not getting in trouble for, just, what I mean with the themes and everything, be mature, although I'm very aware that there are many people under 18, so if you do have any friends who are not here, I am recording this panel for YouTube because I have a YouTube channel and I will be posting it, so they will be able to watch it back, and I hope that is a good compromise, so I really apologize for that again. So, hello? Oh, I should probably press this a bit. Hold on, let's let it finish, because it's about to be done, right?
Yes, gotta love that Danganronpa music. I just love it so much.
It's amazing. Alright, so we will first start off now by introducing ourselves. Hi, my name is Christina. I'm a huge fan of Danganronpa. I have a YouTube channel. I do cosplaying. And yeah, if anyone may remember last year in Ultimate Sailor of Despair, Sailor Junko. Does anyone remember that from last year? Yeah? Yeah? You're looking at her. So, oh yeah, that was fun. Yeah, it was fun.
Hi, I'm MCat Cosplay. I've been into Danganronpa since I saw this Tumblr PowerPoint in 2013, and I saw it and I was like, oh my god, I gotta play this. And then I just got into it, and then I went back into it, and then with the anime this summer, it's just been amazing. And I cosplay Peko and Junko and stuff. I just didn't have time to change, but I love this series. It's so good.
Yeah, my first introduction to Danganronpa, it was, when was it? I forgot, 2013? Yeah.
2013 was when it there was someone doing a Let's Play of it or something. It was one of those
I watched the fan sub as the original Danganronpa animation was being broadcasted. So
how did all of you get into Danganronpa?
Yeah.
Actually, it was a blind purchase for me. I had no clue what the game was, and then I played it, and I loved it. The first one.
Okay, who's next?
I saw a Let's Play of it.
Okay. We got here. We'll get to everyone, I promise. Oh my god. I love that. It's so cute. You guys are so cute. Wait.
Yes.
Oh wait, hey! I'm so sorry. Alright, really quick note before I forget. Danganronpa photo shoot. I am hosting it. Me and Regan, we are hosting it. So tomorrow 3 p.m. by the People Mover escalator. Okay, let's finish on this side and we'll get that side, I promise. Next?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, a friend of mine introduced me to the series.
Okay. That's good.
Anyone else?
I play the games on the Vita.
Okay.
Those are fun.
Me?
Yeah.
My friend told me about it before it even had an English translation, so ever since then, that's been the only thing I cosplay.
Don't worry, I plan to cosplay every single character from Danganronpa in one shape or another because I'm absolutely insane and I am trash, so. It's okay.
She ties me up and makes me watch it.
Pretty much.
Luckily, I don't have to do that with my man. I just beg him. And luckily, I don't have to tie him up yet.
Oh, right.
Yeah. This is 18 and up. I can actually say that, can't I?
Barry, how about you?
My cousin does funny voice acting lines, and he was trying to do funny voices from a number of different cartoons, movies, and anime videos. And we were using the YouTube application, and we found a number of different animes, and Danganronpa showed up for one of them for a very popular, voiceover contest. And he ended up losing the voiceover contest for Monokuma.
Oh wow.
But you got you into the series?
Yeah.
That sounds really bad. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to say it like that. Do we have any more? Or?
Yeah. I decided to watch it on a whim one time and just stayed at 6 a.m. and watching the animation. So.
First. I keep saying first, but it's not first. Anyway, so I do have a little slide compiled here. If you are interested in meeting any voice actors who have been a part of the Danganronpa universe that are here at Youmacon this year, we have Christina V, who did Monica Toa in Ultra Despair Girls. Todd, who does Tetsuo. Oh, man. Don't we love him? That's someone we need to tie up. We have Ian does Juzo? Okay, next slide, I will do a warning of spoilers before we start too. Austin Tyndall, who does Ishimaru in the animation. I know one of the things I was a little, I don't want to say disappointed, but like when you get used to the voice actors in the game and then they have like essentially all new characters, voices in the animation, you're like, yeah.
Yep.
The only one that stuck through is Todd Havercorn for Tigger from the game and into the animation.
Yeah, I noticed they, for the Danganronpa 3 dub, they did their best to try and get everyone from the game. And I think they did a pretty good job. So, Michael Tanham, who did Jin Kirigiri in the original animation, and then he does come back for Danganronpa 3. We have Monica Real, who did Sayaka Maizono in the animation of the original game. And then Kyle Herbert, who does Kazuichi Soda, who is in both the game and the animation for Danganronpa 3. So if you brought anything Danganronpa related, you want to get signed, or you want autographs, perfect compiled list for you.
I'm sorry, another thing.
That's cool.
The voice of Gundam Tanaka is actually with Team 4-Star.
Oh.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that either.
His name is Kaiser Neko. So actually, I have a Danganronpa like Wallace World that I'm having my boyfriend get signed right now.
Is he doing a signing right now?
Well, I mean, Team 4-Star has their big panel right now, like they usually do. So they don't have, like last year Team 4-Star had a signing, but they don't this year. So it's like you have to go to their panel to get a signing. But yeah, if you wanted Gundams from the, from the new Despair arc, you have to.
Okay, let's repeat that loud. Gundam Tanaka, Team 4-Star panels. There you go. What is his name again?
Kaiser Neko.
What?
Kaiser Neko.
Kaiser Neko. There we go. Just making sure I pronounced that right. We get that all out there. I thought I got everything. I apologize for that. All right. Warning, warning. We will be discussing the entire series. If you haven't played, read, or watched everything Danganronpa, it's okay. Just be aware of possible spoilers. So I take no offense if you leave now if you don't want to be spoiled or anything. It's completely okay.
That's okay, yeah.
All right. And there's probably something, I think, the greatest quote from Danganronpa 3 to describe getting into this fandom. Anime. Yes.
Anime was a mistake.
He's a cute little cinnamon roll who just needed to be hugged. Poor cinnamon roll. They put him through too much. He went through too much. And I do have a quick little video I want to show you guys. I actually do have, I don't know if you want to do it now or later, but we do have an 8-minute contemplation. I did get off of YouTube with credit to the user. I will have that in his slide, the name who posted it. It's a nice little contemplation of funny and hilarious things from the English dub of Danganronpa 3. If we want to watch that now or watch that later. Now?
Now? No, we should watch it now, yeah.
That's good.
Oh yeah.
We could use I figured if we could just lighten the load before, I guess, lighten our reviews, and then just talk about the series and then actually follow into
some of the stuff in the dub just is, I don't know, it's just so funny. I don't know what they were thinking, but.
Essentially, the rest of the panel, we wanted it to be more just like discussion-based, talking, interaction, thoughts with you guys, and just like, essentially what it was in the description of the panel is, just talking about our thoughts on hope, despair, how we can actually take these games are fun. Yeah, the humor is fantastic. It pokes fun at itself and the world, and but it definitely deals with very serious undertones that I think can relate to a lot of the things going on, not in our own personal lives, but just in general in our lives around us, and what we really don't look at.
Yeah, like I think the games are like, they had a lot of like funny moments, but at the same time they're like super serious. I mean, not just with like the plot of like murders and stuff, but like just how they're presented and all the themes and like the things people go through, like the characters go through in the games. I think is really cool.
It's really cool that they're trapped in high school and forced to murder each other for sport.
That's what got me like attracted to the games to begin with.
It's really weird.
It's so cool.
We're so attracted to murder.
Yeah. You have something to say?
Yeah. My favorite line from like the entire game series is Monokuma explaining why suicide counts as murder, because you're murdering the most important person, yourself.
Oh my gosh.
It's very true.
It is.
Because even if you think about it, that That's deep. It's very deep. I'm sorry. It's late.
Yeah,
I'm ready for bed. No, I'm just kidding. I'm ready to stay
ready
up all
to
night.
party. Yeah, right.
But yeah, if we go to start with Trigger Happy Havoc, you are introduced. That's when we're really first introduced into this world, where just all of a sudden everybody. First you had Naegi. He's like, oh, okay. You know, I luckily got pulled into this really super prestigious school. I get to go here. And then all of a sudden, when he steps on the ground, he faints and wakes up, and oh, trapped in the school. Everything's boarded up, and meets his classmates supposedly for the first time, and oh, guess what? Hey, you're all gonna murder. You're staying here for the rest of your lives, but if you want to leave, we're gonna make you murder each other. And you have to look at the fact that, at first, you know, he technically doesn't know anyone except for Sayaka, Maizono, and he takes into, you know, he latches onto her as, you know, this some form of formality, and I think that's one of something important in our lives, something that we're comfortable with. If there's something we're familiar with or we know, we get comfortable with that. And especially in a situation like that, as unrealistic as it may seem, you have to think of the mindset that he's in. He's like, oh, I'm just trapped in this really serious situation, but there's this person that I know, and it ends up being his downfall. Or not his downfall, but her downfall.
Yeah, I think the whole thing with Sayaka was really interesting, like in the beginning, because, you know, it was like, oh, we're besties, you know, like we went to the same middle school, and then like just the whole thing with that, I mean, spoilers, I guess, but like how she acted and like after she found out what happened in the outside world. So I think like the whole like part of like,
Or what supposedly happened, or what may have happened because of those videos.
yeah, like those videos like really screwed a lot of people up, and I think that was really interesting how like the way she acted, and then after seeing that, like I don't know, I just thought that was cool. What did you guys think of like Sayaka, maybe in general, or just like,
we got to know her
yeah,
more.
yeah, I do wish, but we do have the free time talks that can be unlocked, I think, after you play it again, where you can still do her free time if you didn't do it.
Yeah.
But I thought she was an interesting character. At first I didn't like her at all, then I ended up like, she grew on me.
Yeah.
I think it was kind of interesting. The thing that drew me to Danganronpa was the fact that every situation was kind of like it had a plot twist to it. It wasn't predictable. Like it wasn't just okay, find out you have the knife, and then that's what killed him. It was like different turns, stuff, different things you had to pay attention to. It kind of moved the story along. I thought it was really interesting.
Besides that first case, in the first game, if you had realized what it was, you would have figured out who the murderer was at the beginning.
That is true.
Yeah, that is true. Like, what do you guys think of like the first game in general? Like, even maybe compared to the other games. Like, do you think it was like a good introduction, or like, what are your thoughts? Yeah. Any thoughts? Okay.
I was gonna say that, excuse me, that it really does show how if your instincts when you're put in a situation like that you start to think for yourself and along that lines, and if there is someone that you really cared about, you do see this in the Despair arc when they do the killing game where they show Junko doing the first test of it, where they have the basically the student council killing game. Essentially that went by a lot faster than I thought it was gonna go through, but when they just, you know, you're put in this sudden situation, and then they had like the couple that was actually, you know, dating, and they were just kind of like, okay, we're stuck in this, and they were gonna just kill themselves to end it and not let themselves go mad like everyone else. You know, some stressful situations really put you to...
Yeah, and that's what I think was really interesting, like the motivations. To, like, they kind of, you know, this because of this, and it's usually predictable, but I liked how in Danganronpa they gave them like reasons to kill each other that was just beyond like escaping or something like that. Like it was just like really, especially in Danganronpa 2, I thought there was a lot of like insane, like awesome reasons. Like, what do you guys like think about that? Like the reasons for them to kill each other. Do you think it was like a little too out there? Do you think it was like cool? Like, what do you guys think? Yeah.
Or like any that speak to you specifically, like on a personal level.
Yeah.
Oh, go here first.
I thought they were doing so well until like, okay, Mondo's motivation for snapping and killing Chihiro is kind of loose, but I think they were doing so well until Celeste's. Like that I just really don't like playing that case just because it's so like, it just feels so flimsily constructed to me. Like, oh, I just want to be a vampire princess.
Well, at the same time, it's like being able to have a character that thinks differently than, say, literally everybody else in the game is kind of like, there's another dimension to it. Instead of it being like, oh, well, my second cousin had an allergy to, like, it's like this elaborate backstory. It's just, I want money. That's like my motivation. Let me have nice things.
Yeah, and at that point, because they were all brainwashed, you were seeing their true desires, and it would change if you are actually, if they actually knew everyone and remembered everyone. They, you know, they obviously wouldn't have killed each other because they spent 2 years together in class. They wouldn't have done those things.
It just shows like where Celeste draws the line between what she personally values and the value of people to her.
Yeah, she played him like a fiddle. Played him like a damn fiddle. Metal Gear reference, right? Yep, yep. All right, I think there was another hand up over here.
I gotta say, like she said, most of them have good motivations. I think the most, I guess, to me was the first case of the second game, because I did not guess at the end who the murderer was, and his motivation was actually to save people, but in order to do that, he had to murder this supposed other murderer.
Are you talking about the one with Tsugumi, the imposter? Yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean there. Right. Oh, yep.
I thought the saddest one was Sakura's. I mean, that gets me the feels every time. So, I mean, I just think, you know, when it's self-sacrifice like that, though, and it's to do it for your friends for like a stepping stone, it's like, I don't know. In a way, it's like, you know what, I would probably do something like that if I was put in a situation like that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's just, she did with the best she could, and then she took her own life, which was really sad for Asahina, so it's just all
And you have to think that because, and you saw part of Asahina that you didn't think you were going to see, where she cares very easily, and she got very attached to Sakura, and she was about to take revenge on everyone by having everyone else basically die because she feels like they caused her to commit suicide.
Yep. And then in the same way that like all the trials in Danganronpa 2 mirror the ones in Danganronpa 1. It's, well, Gundam actually fights for his life, but at the same time, like, he knows he's going to end up dead either way, and he gives, like, Sonya calls him out for being pretty lenient on his, argument, and he, like, it's basically implied that he gives his life for the rest of everybody so that they don't have to, like, give up and decide to just starve to death rather than try to live.
Though,
Yeah.
up until that conclusion, that was a hard case to solve.
That was. How many of you, when playing through the games, have looked up any walkthroughs or tutorials?
That was the only one I had to look up for.
I did once, and it was in the second game when they had that awful puzzle for the 5th case. I don't know.
I think, are you talking about the one where they were in the funhouse?
Yeah, I don't know why. I just looked it up. Like, it wasn't. I love this. Did you guys whoever played like the second game? Did you notice like the escape room puzzle that was like their other title, Zero Time Dilemma, Zero Escape?
Case, right?
Or no, I think it was the 4th. I'm sorry, I'm like kind of mixed up. But but like there's one point in it.
In the second game, it went first. It was Tsugumi and Tetra, and then I say Tsugumi because I mean the ultimate imposter.
Yeah.
Then it was Peko. And Mahiru, that case. The next one was...
It was a two murder.
Oh yeah, so it was the one with Mikan and...
The 4th one was that Strawberry Funhouse. That's the only one I had looked up on.
It was Gundam and
Yep. Yeah.
And then followed by Megiddo and Chiaki, which...
That was a tricky case.
That was... Okay, it's 18 and up, I can say this. That was the biggest mind-fucking-blowing thing when I solved that. I was like, how the fuck did they think this up? That... Oh my god.
If you notice, his death incorporates a lot of elements from the trials in the first game. Like the knife from Sayaka's, the ropes from Chihiro's, the spears from Ikusaba's, and the poison from Sakura's. And it just incorporates a lot of elements. But of course, I'm biased.
Sakura's murder case was probably my favorite one.
What was everyone's favorite case? How about that? Like, what was your favorite case in this
Of you?
Yeah.
Your case of you?
Yeah. From any of the games. Back there?
Personally, I like Trial 6 from the first game.
Mm-hmm.
Just because we get everything, we figure it all out. Because when I was playing the game, I like to be a detective myself and figure it out as I go. But when I came to Trial 6, my mind was blown. I was like, how did she manage to do this? And I had a newfound appreciation for Juno as a villain because she's a pretty damn good villain.
She is. I love her. Oh my gosh.
I do, but I feel like a lot of people might have changed after they saw, not really changed their opinion on her, but like when you saw that essentially you get this feeling that it was just that because she's so cunning and so persuasive that like everyone fell into despair because she kind of talked them into it in a way. Essentially, everyone was brainwashed. So I read a lot of things on Tumblr, like a lot of people were thinking that they feel like she lost a little bit of like, how do I say it, like not credibility, but just like, oh, she didn't do it by being persuasive, she just brainwashed everybody. Right? Who had their hand up first, I think it was.
They can go first.
Okay, we'll start here, go to the back and that way.
What I was going to say was, I mean, I think the reason why people are so infatuated with Danganronpa to an extent in Junko is because it's another image of Adolf Hitler.
Well, I mean, Adolf Hitler.
Well, like the whole brainwashing thing.
Yeah.
That is true.
She did mobilize like a bunch of like people.
I mean, she killed a mass amount of people. I mean, not like a segregated amount of people, but
Yeah.
she brainwashes people. She got other people to do their dirty work. She, you know, it's just it kind of all goes into like there was a mass killing and a mass like suicide thing just from all of these things that she did, to where it's like it's almost like you can't fathom that what this one person, this one girl did that, and it's just kind of
Like she infected and spread it.
Exactly, and that's why I said like Hitler kind of did the same thing with Germany. So that's why it was like it's kind of a way to relate to it.
And apparently, according to her, she does it what? Because she's bored? Essentially.
Which I think that's a really cool theme too. Like the theme of like kind of being so bored with having so much talent that they just decide to kill people for entertainment. And I think that's really interesting.
Maybe we're gonna go back there.
I was just going to say that I agree with you that the brainwashing is a huge cop-out on their part. Just because, you know, Palmina, his whole thing is like, oh, I'm doing it for hope. Just you wait, hope will happen. But if he's brainwashed, it kind of takes away from his character and all their characters. If you just like, oh, watch this television. Oh, you're brainwashed now.
You have to think it was still kind of fucked up that they fell into despair watching Chiaki getting murdered. So
that scene killed me.
Oh god, I was crying. Okay,
Yeah, me too.
well, I was literally crying when she was just, I wanted to play another game with Kamakura, and then something in him realizes that she was important to him after the surgery. Yep, in the back.
I kind of disagree with the whole brainwashing thing. Partially because like I know we're using like Hitler as a parallel, and honestly, Hitler, there was already the foundation, you know, when he came in. Like people already were unhappy. They already had thoughts in their head. You know, the same thing with this despair. They already have the thoughts in there, and somewhere in the back of their mind, there was already those thoughts, those negative thoughts that we all hold. What she did, what Junko, Hitler, anybody did, it was kind of like just a catalyst. You know, she gave them the motivation. She gave them the power to think that they could do it. But otherwise, they already had kind of that kindling there to do all these things.
Yeah. No, I honestly do agree with that, because if you've watched, when you see the Danganronpa 3 and you see when Naegi tests himself getting brainwashed for the sake of testing out Kirigiri's theory, you do see, if you remember, in the first game he says that he's carrying everyone's deaths with him moving forward, and you see that is his despair, he does feel guilt for everything that has happened, and he was about to take his own life. So I do have to agree with that. You know, I do see what you're saying with, you know, Junko, she does capitalize on what people already do have inside themselves. So even no matter how hopeful he tries to be and optimistic he tries to be, no one is left with zero despair. Was that you?
Yeah, and I feel like my other problem, like, I totally agree with the brainwashing thing, Nanami is one of my favorite, like my favorite female character in the games, but like they just make her basically into a manic pixie dream girl for like Kamakura and Hinata, and I didn't really like appreciate the ship pushing, and then I didn't appreciate her being made into like a Messiah character when they didn't give that much justification as to why she is a Messiah character. Like, and I feel like they didn't give her as much depth, and I feel like it really like retroactively ruined her character for me. Like, I don't know. Like, and I feel like I've read a lot of stuff on Tumblr and stuff. It's like I don't like Nanami as much after the anime just because of what they did to her in the anime.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring up Trial 5 in the first game in reference to the brainwashing as like an argument as why it would make sense in character, like as a thing that Junko would do, because that's the chapter where she decides to cheat at her own game. So she's not above that like low cop-out easy move, as long as it's like there's a chance that she might fail. But she's not above cheating. So I guess like
as long as she gets her way.
Yeah, I mean that works in my favor too. And like that like seeing how she like totally just like will break her own rules when she's getting pushed up against the wall and she still fails. Yeah, that's I feel like the brainwashing thing would be very in character for her.
Yeah. No, I do see both sides of it. Essentially, I'm very like I think
it was a great choice narratively, but you know.
Yeah, and just like at the ending, can I just say the ending for Danganronpa 3, the Hope arc? I thought it was supposed to be an hour. I thought I'd ever seen something like that, and then after I saw it was only half hour, I wish it was a half hour because I felt like that.
Has everyone seen that, like the ending for the anime?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll avoid that then. But it was, all I gotta say is that it seemed very rushed, and I wish it was like longer. For the ending, it just seemed like really odd and out there.
Can I make a dirty joke? Yeah. That sounds like sex. Sorry, I'm sorry, I had to say it. Anyway, let's talk about like Ultra Despair Girls a little bit, because I feel like that isn't one that's been touched up on a lot. How do you guys feel about that game and how that felt into the series or the universe? Yeah. We'll start going back that way.
I like Toko more because of that one, so, but I mean,
me too.
The only thing that I didn't like in that game that drove me nuts was how much Kamaru would stop and they had to make a decision, and she'd be like, no, I can't do anything right, I'm just a normal person. It's like, so is your brother, and he's like the leading person of hope, so you should just stop.
Right. Yep.
Chapter 3 went a little too far with Kotoko, which I know Japan has different standards about that, but that was like the worst part of the game.
It was a little disturbing, especially the one scene with like the hands.
Oh, the tickle game?
The tickle game, that was very weird. That was uncomfortable. I feel like that was very unnecessary, like, and they were just doing it. In a way, I think it was like a joke on like fan service in games, but at the same time, it was weird. Like,
well, you do remember at the very end of the second game when Junko essentially, like, they do reference fan service, and you do have her gigantic tits hanging like right in the front of the screen, so, I mean, the game's not about fan service if they're poking fun at themselves anyway. Right, who was next?
I played it just last year, and I was kind of mixed on it. I really liked the characterization of Fukawa and of Komaru, but the gameplay is like a little rough, and I feel like they tried too hard to be dark and edgy to continue that kind of trend that they have going.
Who is next toward the back? We're gonna come around the back, and then Junko.
Personally, I like Ultra Despair Girls because it gave us more insight on what was happening after the trip happened. You know, we saw them come out of the school and they saw the world in ruins and everything. But I will admit that the person who said that Komaru, you know, was annoying and had to stop and be like, oh, I'm normal, I can't do this. That it's like your brother's the ultimate hope. He defeated Junko and Oshima. I just thought, but I did like the characterization from Kawa, like
it shows that we are all normal and we can achieve great things. All right, you're next.
I recently started watching playthroughs, but I love how it's set up. Like, I think it's very interesting to meet all of the people that were really important to the cast in Trigger Happy Habit.
I think that was cool. It was really cool.
Like, I think it's just a very interesting take on the entire series with it being told from someone else's point of view that's not associated with those people.
Yeah, like I don't know, I really like Despair Girls, especially like, because when I first played and I watched Trigger Happy Havoc in the animation, like I like Fukawa, or is that how you say her name? Is it Fukawa?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I really liked her. But then when I played Despair Girls, I had this new appreciation for her character. I thought she was funny. I thought she developed so much. She went like, I was blown away by her character development, and I just ended up like loving her. And she became one of my favorite characters after Ultra Despair Girls. And then one thing I like about that game too is it seemed like it was really dark, like darker than the other games in a way.
Yeah.
It was disturbing. I was disturbed by that game.
Well, yeah, I'm going to bring up because the Warriors of Hope, I can't remember every single name, but I remember Nagisa, who's the one with the blue hair, essentially, being the ultimate. I can't remember what his exact ultimate talent was, but he was studying
social studies.
Yeah, studying, and his parents pushed him and essentially drugged him to keep him up, to keep him studying. You see this in the game and you think this is nuts, and then you think about, no, that's psychotic. And then what, Kotoko, I think that's how it's pronounced?
Yeah,
with the pink hair.
Yeah. Her
Essentially,
backstory was crazy.
How she had to deal with rape and her mother selling her out and doing things with strange men with her mom, kind of thing. That's fucked up. Can't remember his exact name. The one who wore like the bandages around his head because he was always told that he was ugly, how he was always led to believe that he was ugly and he wasn't worth anything, and always talking down about himself. And right before you see his death scene, you see that no, he's a cute angelic cinnamon roll who is too beautiful to be, It deals with those kind of things.
I know. I honestly didn't like his character, but I kind of felt bad for all of the Warriors of Hope. Did you guys feel bad for them? Like, in a way, I don't know, like, in a way, like, I'm like, whoa, they're, like, killing all these adults. But then when you see what happens to them and, like, why they did it, I was just like, I didn't think their actions were right, but it was just, like, really disturbing. And it's like, and then if you think about it, a lot of this stuff does go on with, like, children, and it's, like, really scary that there's kids who go through this type of thing. And I thought that was really interesting.
Like, these aren't made up. These are things that really happen to everyone. Yep.
I actually like Monica as a villain better than Junko, just because she's so hateable. She's such a unrepentant piece of shit. Like that, like it's so easy and fun to hate her. But then actually the animation kind of redeemed her just because she doesn't give a shit anymore.
I'm gonna be a
neat face. I appreciate her as a character. I feel like if I really appreciate her as a character, but I feel like if I met her in real life, I would not appreciate that.
Oh, you want to know all these men asking for women for help. You guys remember that, or is that a really weird? We know what we're referencing, right? Who's watched the third anime? When oh, you were next, and then we'll go this way. Yep.
I feel like up until like the point that Ultra Despair Girls was the newest Danganronpa game merchandise at all, I feel like Monica had more on-screen like evidence of what she had done as a villain compared to like any other character, Junko included. Like you had heard about what people had done for Junko after her death more than you had heard about what Junko had done personally, but then you like go into a room and see what Monica personally did to what is assumed to be
Makoto's parents.
Yes. And I also feel like I really like Komaru as a character in the same way that I like Hinata as a character. Like they have weaknesses. Like I don't feel that Makoto is the same kind of normal that Komaru and Hinata are, because like the one skill that Makoto has above like any other normal character in the game is that he is able to help like cope in a way that's like, I almost said hope, cope in a way that's that doesn't like leave him like mentally harmed by these events. Like he's able to move on and keep on going. Whereas like Hinata literally has a panic attack in like the first 15 minutes of Danganronpa, and Komaru breaks down over like a very stressful choice. And I feel like the weakness in those characters is very underappreciated.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with what you were saying there, yeah. All right, who's next? Someone else had their hand up, we're gonna go this way. Who still had, there were people that had their hands up, you can put them back up, it's okay. Yeah.
After the DR3 anime, I have a new appreciation for Ultra Despair Girls for actually showing an Ultra Despair from Class 77 in action.
Yeah.
Since
Yeah.
we don't actually see what most of them do, and then the anime only showed us like for 2 seconds.
Yeah, and just like, it was kind of like, you're talking about like, you know, actually seeing what they end up doing after they're fallen to despair. Yeah, because like what was in the game, it's implied that you see that, I have to remember what they were all, that Fuyuhiko, you know, took out his own eye and put in Junko's eye. Nagito cut off his own hand to put Junko's hand on. I think it was implied that Akane, like she starved herself.
Yeah, she starved. They all went through something that was related to their interest, or not interest, but not all of them, but like they all had to do something that was like
against what they, you know, against something that they would normally do.
Right.
Because Akane loves food, so her starving herself was a big deal. And then what I was trying to think, who was the one who fucked Junko's dead corpse? Wait, what? We had multiple.
Miki took her ovaries.
Okay. Oh yeah, I do remember hearing about that. Where was that at? Like I don't remember that for some reason. It was. I think it was at the end of the second game. I'm pretty positive.
Oh, okay.
Where Junko was talking about to the cast. Like this is what has gone on, being the ultimate despairs, which you guys are supposed to be, which you are, have gone on and done, and they're thinking this is that we can do the kind of stuff, but.
What do you guys think of the ultimate despairs? I think it's cool. I think it's badass. Like
I think it's cool to murder the entire world.
I think it's badass. Like how they, like I don't know, not like, I guess in a good way, like how they were kind of manipulated, but just the way like they looked. I don't know. I thought their designs were really cool. But like, what do you guys think of like ultimate despairs? Like, do you think like high school students would actually have that type of power, like all over, like to do that kind of thing? I don't know. Like, what do you guys think?
The right kind of ultimates to cause a large amount of despair. That's why it was such a good team-wise. I think that's why, too, that, you know, like Makoto and his class wouldn't have been really as much of a team just because there's not as much they had. I think that would have worked. But I think that they just have the right kind of ultimate. They're honestly my favorite class, too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Which, oh yeah, so, is it okay, I know I wanted to say something, but then I realized spoilers, even though I mentioned spoilers, but I won't say it then, it'll be okay. Who's next that wanted to say things? We're gonna scan the room, I know people had their hands up, yep.
I don't understand, I can understand how most of them spread despair, but it's been bugging me since I finished reading DR2 in like 2013. I don't understand how Sayanji and like Ibuki and like the other ones with the sillier talents spread despair.
Memes.
Memes.
Okay.
Well, what was it? Sandy, she was just basically because, wait, Sandy. Yeah, because Hyoko she was just dance and hypnotize people. I can understand, like, that being a little confusing.
I mean, I totally understand Sonia because of Ultimate Princess. Like, that makes sense, like, that she would have that kind of political power as an ultimate despair. I'm trying to think, like, I don't know about some of the other ones, though.
Like,
but
Terror, how do you spread despair by cooking?
Well, you do
I don't know. It's weird.
Well, we do see at the beginning of Danganronpa 3, despair arc that he used his cooking and put special ingredients to make people horny, or that he had that power, so I don't know how you beat it with despair, but.
Maybe they just like mass produce something that brainwash people. I don't know.
Well, if you've ever eaten a really terrible meal, despair hits you very fast.
You also hit the toilet very fast.
Yep.
Oh god. Yeah.
Cannibalism.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What?
Cannibalism.
Cannibalism. Shoot, I'm drawing a blank right now.
What, just like that causes despair? Yeah.
That's the worst thing I can think of that like Terratoro could use to spread despair.
Oh yeah, there was. I don't know. This is not Danganronpa related. This was actually based on a true story. If you ever guys heard of it, back in the 1980s, there was a plane crash, and a bunch of people ended up getting killed in the actual crash. A bunch of people survived, and to continue surviving, they actually did eat the other members of who were on that plane, just a group of people, just to gain strength to go and find help. That hey, there's still people alive. So that can mess you. That literally can mess you up. Yes, that is a true story, based on a true story. Right. Yeah. Do they eat in Danganronpa? Oh yeah. No, they literally ate people. They literally had to eat their meat because that's literally all the food that they had to give those people strength to actually go out and find help to try and save themselves. So definitely something like that can mess you up in the head and make you fall to despair if we want to stick with the theme of hope and despair. Yeah.
Back to the topic we were on, even if you could just play like chords, bad chords, dissonant chords, just like notes that just sound like
just make your ears bleed.
At the same time, just like
We're gonna do that.
With Ibuki, what I was thinking is there's a lot of hypnotic notes that people play music in, so probably lots of different use for that.
Yeah. This is kind of unrelated, but who's here like seen that Ember episode from Danny Phantom? I don't know why. I totally could see her doing something like that, where like she hypnotized people with her music. I don't know.
Yeah. Right, you were next time.
Back on the subject of ultimate despair when like being the ultimate cook. Well, imagine you have you and all of your friends, and you get locked in this place, and you're starving to death. But you have this guy who can cook this awesome food. He's taking the dead bodies from your friends and making it smell great. It's either starving to death or getting this really awesome meal. You're probably gonna enjoy it because it's gonna taste great. But that's your friends, and I can't think of anything that would induce more despair in someone.
Gordon Ramsay.
Okay. All right, actually, there's I don't know if you remember, has anyone here watched South Park?
Or that's it.
Has anyone watched like the really early episodes of South Park? Yeah. The episode of South Park where, I forgot his name, but Cartman makes...
Scott Tillman.
Yeah. Feeds him a nice soup. Oh, this is delicious. What is this? Your parents. That's definitely disparaging.
Also, I guess like an ending question for everyone. What do you want most in Danganronpa V3? Like maybe like the new game. Like what do you want most? Like do you want? I don't know. Like what do you guys think?
Okay, so this is supposed to be a separate, complete story arc from the first games, but there has been images leaked, not leaked, but like analyzed from the V3 photos that Asahina and Kiriri are just strangely
They're in the background,
shadowed in the back. If you look closely, I'm not kidding you.
Yeah.
I should have brought those pictures, but you can look it up.
It's really interesting. Like, I wonder if it's like another simulation or something. I don't know. It's like kind of a theory I have, or something.
Because we know that they're supposed to be like basically jail because they're locked up students.
Yeah, which I don't know. I really like that theme. It sounds really cool. Were you gonna say something?
I need the protagonist to be gay.
Okay, did you see that? Did you see that official art?
Yeah,
it needs to be. It needs to happen. I mean,
well, we're cosplaying.
We're gonna cosplay it, yeah.
Because we're crazy.